Okay, so we're ready to get started. Welcome everyone. This is the Agnihotra Ladies, the Cosmic Clinic. I am the Agnihotra Lady, and we're broadcasting live at Shantivilla Institute. We're at the Atlanta Conyers location, and our main campus, of course, as you know, is in Tuskegee, Alabama. And so we're going to go ahead and get started with the show. And we're going to start with the Baruti mantra like I normally do to set a good tone for our important talk. Boo swaha, Agniye idamama wa swaha, Vayave idamama swaha, Suryaya idamama bhurva swaha, Prajapatiye idamama. Okay, so we're ready now to get started with the talk. If you're just now joining me, I'm the Agnihotra Lady, and this is the Cosmic Clinic. And we're broadcasting live here at Shantiville Institute at the Conyers, Georgia location. And of course, our main campus is in Tuskegee, Alabama. And I wanted to talk this evening about preventing suicide and finding the true self, finding your true self. Um, in the headlines recently, we've heard about in the last several months, several celebrities that have committed suicide, and so, and a lot of times people are not understanding how a celebrity could, commit suicide because they have money and access to all of these material things, and often some of us equate having all of these things to equaling happiness. So I wanted to talk about this from the Vedic perspective on dealing with preventing these suicidal thoughts and finding your true self. So, and of course, having suicidal thoughts is not just something that celebrities or rich people have. Anyone, especially now during these chaotic times, are dealing with a lot of stressful things. So I want to give you some practical things that you can do in your daily life if you're facing suicidal thoughts, things that you can do to help curb those thoughts. Like I said, I'm very concerned because a lot of people are suffering with these negative thoughts, and they feel like they are trapped and that suicide is the only answer. And it takes a village to take care of the people in the village. So I would like to say that first and foremost, we have to have more of a sense community in our neighborhoods and our cities. All too often, parents may not live close to their children if the children are grown. Everybody's busy, especially now. Everyone's busy trying to get back to normal, the way things used to be. But let me just say this: with all the things that are going on, you have to take special care with yourself and with other people. And let me just also say too that living in the present moment is something that we all have to do, because first of all, there is no going back to how things used to be. All you have is the present moment. So with that being said, there is no what used to be, what's normal. What we have right now, how we're living during these challenging times, during the pandemic, we have to take it for what it is and not say, well, we want to get back to what it used to be. So that's an expectation that stresses many people out, because you want things to go back to what they used to be. So that takes us into the main focus of what really is happening when people are depressed, or developing these habits where it's too much dependence on outward things and not doing the inner work, and understanding that no matter your circumstances, whether uh, you're in a home, or you may lose your home, or you have a job, or you're looking for a job, and things are going well or things are not going well, you have to always be in the present moment. And so a lot of time we see that expectations are the driving force for when people are trying to work towards something. They expect a result from something. And when you don't get that result, then that causes a stress. And then that stress leads to depression. So, expectations. Let's just go through this slowly and carefully, because there are many types of expectations we put on ourselves. There are expectations that we require of other people. And that's when the friction happens within yourself. Okay. Affecting your vibration. You expect to make a certain amount of money and you don't, and then you get stressed out. Or you expect that you're going to keep your job. You're expecting that your home, you have to keep your home. Okay. And then if you lose the home, then you're depressed. And a lot of times, especially here, I live in the United States, there is the equation of material things with happiness. And your happiness cannot be attached to all of these outward things. So I see that in a lot of the cases of these people that are committing suicide, there is a lot of attachment to the money and the material things. And nothing's wrong with money or having these nice material things. But what happens if you define yourself by a job, a career? What happens when you define yourself by having cars, homes, a big stock portfolio, all of these things? You can't define yourself by any of these things, because those things are transitory. You have to do with yourself daily. So we teach from the Vedic tradition of being in the present moment and forming habits that lead to an equilibrium within your soul, where you have pleasant thoughts of tranquility and peace on a regular basis, as opposed to being attached to the outward world. We're humans living in the outward world, but we need to tap into the true self, which has nothing to do with doing a lot of actions. And let me repeat that again. So we're taught that we have to always be doing something. We have to work a job. We have to, make a certain amount of money. We have to do this. This child needs to go to this particular high school or college, and you had to do this, you had to get this type of scholarship, this type of, you need to have all these things which require a lot of actions. But what I'm talking about is sitting still and not doing any of those actions and doing what is the least resistance for you finding your happiness. So let's talk about habits. So if you have a habit where you have to work all the time, it's hard for you to take a day off, you're working all the time, you don't have time for your children or your spouse, then this is a habit that is creating not only just stress for your family, but stress within your body. You have to have a time to reset, and working all the time, you don't want to be defined by that job or career. Because who are you really without that job? Who are you really? And these are things you need to think about. So let's say you are working a lot of hours at a job that you do not like. And like I've heard a woman say that she developed ulcers, heart palpitations, just sitting in the parking lot in a car before she could even walk in the door to go to a job. And she says, well, I don't have a choice because I have to have this job. I'm a single mom. I have these kids to support. I have to have this job. And so what I say to you, if you're in that situation, if you have a heart attack or develop some serious illness because of this job, then you won't be able to take care of your children. So is it really worth it? So in these times when people really want to make sure that they have job security, you need to have self-security above anything else. Because all you have is yourself in the end. Jobs come and go. You have to deal with yourself. So it could be something where you need to assess whether this job is worth the worry and the pain, and then what has physically manifested in your body. So this is something that you have to make a decision. You have to put an importance for your physical well-being, your mental well-being above a job. And then I've heard people say, well, I have to have this job because I will become homeless, or what would happen to me? What would happen to me if I don't work this job? We have to get out of that mindset of putting ourselves last. And that's really what it boils down to. So it can be something as simple of, okay, I'm gonna give myself 2 weeks. I'm gonna find any other job than the one I have. And I mean, when I say any other job, it could be something when you're doing menial tasks that to you were beneath the degree that you have, that you went to school for and worked hard for. But you're putting the emphasis on your well-being. So you have to sacrifice some of the material things if you want to have that self of the true self to come out, to have the balance. So you need to make plans to be able to get away from that job, find something, even if it makes less money, but you have a better peace of mind. Because it's not about the job, it's about you. So that's the first thing. You have to assess what is the cause of stress. And so in the woman that I mentioned, in her case, once she quit, I mean, she just quit the job because she was so sick from that job. It was stressful. The managers were mean to her at the job. There was cursing, it was negativity. She had double the workload because they didn't want to hire other people and it was short staffed, and she was working so long. She never saw her children. She had lots of health issues, blood pressure medication she had started to take, and heart palpitations, and all these different things. So she said as soon as she quit the job, she stopped having those physical symptoms. And she also was saying that around this time that she was thinking, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to kill myself. I have my children to think of, but I can't function. So she said as soon as she quit that job, then those thoughts, they just went away. So she ended up working a job way less, $20,000 less. And she realized, okay, great, I'm not, I, I'm less stressed, but I'm not going to be able to maintain the house and the car. So she went ahead and sold. She had a not a brand new car, but a somewhat newer car. She sold that car, got a cheaper car, and then she decided to put her house up for sale, and found something cheaper that she could afford. Ended up selling the house. It took a couple of months to do that. But as a result of her prioritizing herself, her self care, and not placing the emphasis on, I need to make this amount of money to maintain where I am, because you're not maintaining where you are if you're stressed out, hating your job. Like I said, she was sitting in the parking lot, you know, just, didn't even want to walk in the front door. So you're not maintaining when you're in that thought process. So that's an example of what you can do. And you're forming this habit of putting yourself first. You're forming this habit of not being attached to all of these material things. So these are some things, and I wanted to give some real life examples for things that people are going through, because it's not any good for me to say, oh, here, do this and this, and you can't relate it to your life in that way. So that's an example there. So another cause of suicide is when people, they're taking drugs, and they may even accidentally overdose. So let's get into that. So why are people taking drugs? They're taking drugs to escape from their current circumstance. So once again, we formed this bad habit of taking drugs to escape from the present circumstance. And so just like I talked about the single mom, that she basically changed her environment, is what she did to get away from the suicidal thoughts, from the stress. And it's the same thing goes for if you're using drugs or abusing alcohol. You have to change your environment to get away from feeling the need to have to take a substance or drug, to be happy, which is, in a temporary sense. So let's see. So people may take drugs because they have a stressful job, or they're in a bad marriage, or they don't like how they're living and whatnot. So, like I said, immediately we have to change the environment. And so let's just think about this. So a lot of times people say, well, I got to take a vacation. I need to take a vacation because my job is stressful. Let me take a 2 or 3 week vacation. Or it's stress at home. I have to take this vacation. You want to live in a way where you don't have to vacation from your life, your regular daily life. If you have to take a vacation for that reason, then you need to change your home environment. And by that could be anything from maybe everyone in the household, everyone's so busy, they don't have time to sit and have a dinner together and talk and really um, understand what each other is going through, the parents and the children. So maybe you need to have less activities that your children are involved in, and maybe you need to work less hours when you get home. Maybe you need to cut down on the gaming and the TV watching time, so that way you can listen and hear what your family members are going through. And then you'll find, like some people say, oh, I hate to go home. I know it's going to be a lot of drama and things I have to deal with. But if you create the environment where the home is a haven, a beautiful, blissful haven, then you're not having to vacation to get away from your daily life. So your home life, that's your castle, they say. Okay. Many of us have been spending a lot of time in our homes and our castles, and it's been stressful. So think about what you can do to create this blissful environment at home daily. And you can just do little small things. It could be when you get home, you and your family can just sit still for a second and meditate. Just sit still for 5 to 10 minutes. Okay? 5 or 10 minutes, sit still. Okay? And if it's not too cold outside, you can go walk around. Nature is a very good way to clear negative energy, being out of nature. That's, I love gardening. It just makes my soul just jump for joy. So being in nature. So you have to do these things so you don't have to vacation away from your daily life, because your daily life is that it is what it is. You can't be on vacation, 3 months at a time, or, you know, or just saying that that's the only time that you're happy, because you have to run away from things. And then the other thing I want to say about expectations is we expect so much from ourselves. There's this pressure, hey, I have to do this and do that. And then we expect so much from other people. We have to get into a mindset of the only thing that you should be doing daily is just making sure that you're taking care of yourself, that you're sitting still, that you understand that you're human, and your life is not built around any of these actions of your job, career, how much money you have. You're a human. You exist, so you mean something. And let me just say this for anyone that is suffering: you are perfect just as you are. You are perfect in every sense. You are the embodiment of perfection. You are perfect. You are loved. You are perfect. You are perfect. You are loved. So there's a false sense of perfection that society, at least here in the US, tells you have to maintain. But you are already perfect. You are made in the image of Mother, Father, God. You are perfect. All you have to do is just be silent and understand that it's not about a job, a career, a car, a lifestyle. You don't have to put those type of expectations on yourself. You're a human. So within you as a human, there's a lot of wonderful, miraculous things that you are capable of without any attachment to these outside things. Okay? So if you are suffering from suicidal thoughts, please just say to yourself, take a step back from whatever you're doing and know that you are perfect. You are the embodiment of perfection. You are love. You're fine just how you are. Society may tell you that you're not perfect and you must look or act a certain way, but you're perfect just the way that you are. You really are. So, if part of talking about depression, if you're surrounding yourself with people that are attached to outward things and you're constantly around them, then you are going to have to change who's in your environment. That will also help with the depression issue. And I think they had a recent study I just saw last month. They're saying that now psychiatrists is saying that all of these um, psychotropic drugs that they have been prescribing for so many years, they're saying, well, you know what, we don't think we have to prescribe those as much anymore. Is because it's the circumstances, the society. This is what causes stress for people. So listen to me. When I say about changing the environment, I talked about the woman with the job and she changed, and the drug user that's trying to escape the present, and people trying to vacation away from home. So you have to do the same thing with people. That is part of your environment. Okay. So if you have people that are attached to these outward things and they expect you to always be driving this sort of car or dressed in this sort of way, and they would not be your friends if you didn't have these outward things, then you need to change that. And then understand that that type of environment with friends, it leads to stress and it leads to people being suicidal. I've had people that have told me that, some people only are their friends or want to be around them because of their material wealth. And that depressed them. But what I said to them is, you can change that. You can change that instantly. Go volunteer. Okay, volunteer, help some people. Help do a Habitat for Humanity. Help build a house. Donate your times to helping a single mom that's just got into an apartment and she wants to get a better job. Help her with her resume. Help her get some job training. Okay, help people that are not looking at you as just being a money bag. If you're a person like that, you need to think outside of that environment of people that are not serving you. Okay, so I guarantee you, changing the environment and changing the environment, it goes back to what I said about these bad habits. The bad habits put stress on your mind, and then it causes all sorts of negative things with you physically. But when you form these new habits, having the right people around you in your circle, your inner circle, having the right type of job, the right living environment, all of these things will lessen those thoughts of suicide. So you have to just take one baby step at a time. And understand is that I've talked about it takes a village. So if you're suffering with suicidal thoughts, please, talk to your parents, close friends. Let them be the circle where they can help you become stress free. Like I said, assess what you're going to be doing with a job, how you live, and the people around you. So part of the Vedic teaching is that once you are able to clear up the thought pollution, then there's more things that you can do energetically with your second body, your auric body. So with Agnihotra, which is what we teach here at Shantivilla Institute, we do Agnihotra and other home fires, and it's a way to eradicate those negative thoughts. So the first thing I would say if you are depressed, if you got any kind of PTSD, anxiety disorder, any of these things, sit and do Agnihotra. You can do it by yourself or do it with your family. Because usually when people are suicidal and depressed in the family, it affects the entire family. So this is something that can heal the entire family. So Agnihotra, very simple. You can do it sunrise and at sunset, but there's an awakening that happens and a clearing of the thought pollution when you do Agnihotra. So Agnihotra, we use specially prepared items in a copper pyramid. This is a Agnihotra pyramid. And so we use dried cow dung. We use brown rice. And then we use ghee, which is nothing but unsalted butter that has been boiled down, and we scrape away the fat. So these items are put into a copper pyramid. Okay. And then at sunrise, when the ethers, electricities, and energies are cascading upon the planet, there's a exchange between the solar system, the sun, and the copper pyramid. Then we do this process again at sunset when those energies and electricities are receding. And what happens in the process is that we have a burst of energy. Like I said, it's an exchange between the solar system, the sun, and the pyramid. And then there are nutrients that are put into the atmosphere. It kills pathogenic bacteria. Okay. So think about that when you're healing, doing this healing thing for the planet, you're healing your mind. So if you have depression, you'll feel this burst of energy. Whether you have depression or not, you're going to feel this burst of energy. So we'll say to you to do Agnihotra, which is a basic homofier, to clear the cobwebs, to get rid of the suicidal thoughts. Okay. So additionally, you can do the full moon mantra any time of the day, the Om Trambaka mantra. You can sit and do that for an hour. Okay. And this will also help to clear the suicidal thoughts. So a lot of people with PTSD and other mood disorders, they use this to be able to clear away the cobwebs and clear away the depression without having to take psychotropic drugs. Okay, so that study where they now are saying that I mentioned earlier that the psychiatrists are saying, well, we don't think we need to prescribe all this medication anymore. Now, we see that a lot of this stuff is because of how people are living in the society. Really, you think? They just figured this out. So Agnihotra and homotherapy, this is the tool to give you that push to get out of the suicidal thoughts. So this is the Vedic solution to prevent suicide. Okay. And this is very serious because a lot of people now, because of the pandemic, because of the atmospheric pollution, the prana is polluted. A lot of people are chaotic with their thoughts and actions and needless violence now, even more so. It is causing a lot of people to be violent and to commit suicide. The suicides are increasing now. And that's not a coincidence because there's so much pollution, not just, pollution that we can see, with all the washed up dead fish. I think they were just talking about that, or the wildfires. We're talking about thought pollution because the very atmosphere is polluted. Okay. And then we're talking about the pranic energy, which runs through everything that's living. Now, if the prana is infected, wow, it's a wonder. Okay. You think about the suicides right now, and then the suicide rate, and I've talked about this before. Why are we having 12 and 13-year-old children committing suicide now? Babies are being born underneath stress. So it's important to understand that Agnihotra needs to be performed to be able to restore the balance to how you think. If you're breathing in polluted air, what do you think is happening to your brain and to your entire body? Okay? So this is the Vedic solution, the Agnihotra and the homotherapy. And it's important that as you are seeing these rates of suicides in the news, on the TV, it's going to be more. It will be more. Okay? So those of us that do energy work, we know that a lot of people will take themselves out now. A lot of people will take themselves out, and it makes me so sad when I know that there's a way for people to live more in balance and harmony. It makes me very sad, and I'm very concerned. And that's why I wanted to stress that Agnihotra, which cleanses up the atmosphere, the planet, is a way to cleanse yourself too. You do not have to suffer from depression. So listen to me. If you are suicidal, the first thing I want you to do is to tell close friends and family members that you're suffering, because you're not alone. Like I said, you are perfect. I love you. We love you. You are already perfect. I don't care if you're using drugs, if you are abusing your children or whatever, and you're depressed and you're stuck. Let's get unstuck. Tell your friends and family. If you belong to a church, go to a church. If you don't go to a church, find a neighbor, find any of these people that want to help you. Call the suicide hotline. Call me, okay? There are people that want to help. And then do the things that I was saying. If you need to get out of that job that's stressful, or even in a stressful household, and let's say you can't move away, find a way for someone to help you to get away from that. You have to change the environment. You have to stop doing the bad habits that lead to this suicidal thinking, and get an Agnihotra kit and do Agnihotra. So a lot of times for people that are suicidal, because of the bad habits and the bad thinking, you feel trapped. And Agnihotra is a tool in which it changes how you think. So something that would have bothered you and depressed you before, you've learned how to be calm. Agnihotra, it calms you. Okay? And that's what I was saying before. Usually, if you have depression and you're living with family members, your entire family is dealing with you. Like some people have tried to commit suicide 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So it's a family issue. Your entire family can do Agnihotra and the other homofiers. So this is a way to heal the entire family. Because a lot of times you'll see where depression kind of runs in the family. The mother was suicidal, the daughter is suicidal, and runs in the family. So you can create a new family legacy of living in peace. So get an Agnihotra kit, okay, and start doing this. And so you're changing the way that you think. You're changing the way that you react to all of these outward things. And like I said before, if you need to change jobs, work less hours, downsize your home, sell some things, and live simpler, this is what you have to do. And this is how you get to your true self. Your true self is not meant to be in agony and tortured and suffering. You're a divine being, okay? And God, Mother, Father, God made you in the image of Him and herself. We're not meant to be in agony. So all of these societal things, when society tells you that you're not perfect, it's a lie. You are perfect. You are loved just how you are. There is no imperfection. There is no imperfection. So just do one step at a time. If you need to call me, my number is 404-487-8156, or you can email me or DM me. I don't even need to know your name. You can just talk to me. And we are open at the Conyers, Georgia location. If you just want to just sit, you don't even have to talk to me. I can do the full moon fire for you, and then you can just rest your mind. But the goal that I want for everyone that is dealing with suicidal thoughts, the goal is for you to create a new environment in your home, to create a new work environment. You need to create new thoughts and get away from these bad habits. Bad habits create the stress on your mind, which leads to physical illnesses and things like that. So I just wanted to talk about that this evening, because a lot of people will be committing suicide, even more people, because of what's happening with the planet. The planet is not healthy, and then the planet is unhealthy. You're going to have a lot of unhealthy thoughts happening to people. There's a lot of people that are like I said, are scared of losing their lifestyles, their livelihoods, and things like that. So the Agnihotra is a material aid to help with this. You're not alone. So I'm going to end this broadcast. And once again, I'm going to say to anyone that is having suicidal thoughts, if you want to call me, you can call me right now at 404-487-8156. More importantly, connect with your family. Okay, if you're having family disputes and y'all are not talking to each other, let that go. You got to forgive. That's part of all that too. Forgive and connect with family and close friends that can help you create new thoughts. If you're on drugs, then for sure you need to, if you don't have any money, call your local resources there and see about getting some free drug and alcohol help. Okay, and we also have a drug de-addiction program here at Shantivilla Institute that is based on homotherapy. So, but if you are having, any of these things, you can reach out and get help, get yourself out of that situation. Okay, if you're being abused or if you are abusing, okay, and you feel you're stuck, that's right, because abusers, they need to be nurtured as well too. If you're being abused or you are the abuser and you're depressed because you can't see how to get out of that, once again, connect with people. There's no stigma to being a human being that's dealing with things, okay? We're way too judgmental, okay? And like I said, if you need me to facilitate any of these things, I'll help you. If you need me to talk to some family members or some people or you feel embarrassed, I'll help you. I'll help you, okay? So just know, and I will end with this: you are perfect just as you are. You're perfect. There's nothing wrong with you. You are loved. I don't care what job you have. You don't have to have a job. You're a human. I don't care if you're cashier or you're a millionaire. I love you. I love you. I love you. Don't care about all these outward things. I love you because you're a human being. You are human. You are perfect the way you are. And so thank you so much for joining me this evening. I'm the Agnihotra Lady. This is the Cosmic Clinic. And I look forward to talking to you the next time. Be blessed.